This video will be an overview of the online photo editor Pixlr. If you go to Google and do a search for Pixlr and go to editor, or any of these for that matter, and click on the first link, so the apps Pixlr, it will open up a smaller window. You're going to need Java to run this, so your computer might ask you if you want to run it or not. And from here you can begin editing some photos. Now, not quite as powerful as Photoshop, but for the most part, most people just need to erase a word or add in a word or tinker with an image a little bit. They don't need all the tools that Photoshop offers. And for being free, it'll do the job. So one of the advantages is opening up an image from a URL. So if I found this image and I really liked it, I would copy the URL. But let's just say I didn't want these red words to appear. I wanted just the letters. I would go to the editor and click Open Image from URL and go ahead and paste in the URL that I found the picture at. And there it is. And now what I can do is I can play with the image a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the zoom tool and then go ahead and get rid of some of these words in red that I no longer want. There's a little eraser function on here that will allow you to go in and erase the pieces that you don't want. And you can change the size of the eraser. If it's too large, you can make it smaller so you're not running into the letters. And once you're done with what you need to erase, you can go to File, Save, and now you can save it to your computer. And it will come out with the edits that you've made. If you want, you can change the format to a JPEG. Usually this is what most people will use. If you want to use a BMP or a PNG, you can also go ahead and do that. For our purposes, I'm just going to use a JPEG and increase the quality to 100. I'm going to go ahead and retitle this as EW for Earthworm, and I'm going to go ahead and click OK. Now it's just a matter of selecting a folder on your desktop that you want to save it to. If you're okay with the name, just leave it as is, click Save, and now you have saved this image. So here is the edited image. If you notice, I didn't do a great job of erasing, but compare that to the original and it doesn't look too bad. If you wanted to spend a little bit more time, you can go ahead and clean that up. Pixlr will also let you add in text, so if you want to add in something that is not written in, you can go ahead and select the text tool and type something in. If you wanted to write something, you could select the pencil tool and write something in or draw something in. There's also a paintbrush tool and a couple other interesting things you can play with, like a paint bucket if you wanted to. Shapes, blur. Over here you can add in different layers if you wanted to start getting a little bit fancier. In future tutorials I'll show you how to use layers and a couple other interesting tools. But as far as being able to edit images relatively quickly without using Photoshop or getting too fancy, Pixlr happens to get the job done. So hopefully you find this tool useful.